Hey everybody, Josh from Alpha Nova here, back with another Mixcraft tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be covering the basics of filters, that's high pass and low pass. They're great tools. You can use them for builds, you can use them just for cutting out frequencies you don't like instead of EQing. There's just any number of things you can do. So what I've done here is I've just built a really simple lead with 4 on the floor kick. I'll give you a listen to here's how it sounds. So it sounds pretty dancey. That's what it was supposed to sound like, I guess. If you go over here, I'm just using the Nexus preset, hands up hook 1. No modifications done to it, it's just a completely stock preset. So let's get right into the tutorial. Right up here, in the top bar here, there's a drop down box and you click on volume and you can adjust any number of things. Low pass and high pass, cutoff and resonance are in there. And now both of those are what you're going to want to use for building nice tensiony kind of builds in different cases. So low pass, I like to use those for leads because, here I'll show you what it does. You click on it and this bar right here represents the frequencies that are going to be allowed through. So if you drag this down, only low frequencies are going to be allowed through because the high frequencies are cut off, hence low pass cut off. So here's what it sounds like that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to throw a master limiter on just so it doesn't peak over in Mixcraft. So the low pass cutoff builds a nice effect, but if you want to add something more, you can also add resonance to that, and that's what's called a filter sweep. Once again, the bar represents the amount of resonance, and you'll hear what I mean when I say resonance as soon as I play this through. I'm not going to crank it up because you'll be able to hear it without that, but here's what it sounds like now. It's a lot more of a high sound to it. Like it starts making this, all the harmonics become amplified because of that. So what we're going to do, there's actually 2 ways to adjust cutoff. Now in Mixcraft you have the ability to click this button, and this is the automation toggle button. And if you click this track volume, you get another drop down where you can go into Nexus, and you can actually choose different portions of Nexus to control. So right here, this is the master filter cutoff. This is what we're going to want to use. This is what it sounds like. So what we have to do is find that in this really easy because it's the second one down. And it's almost the exact same as if you were doing the envelope automation. You just control the VST itself instead of Mixcraft's kind of frequency finding skills. So that's what it sounds like with using Nexus. Now, the great thing about using VSTs for this is a lot of the time, if you have effects applied, the cutoff will be applied before the effects, and it won't make it as muddy sounding or anything like that. It won't be distorted at all, unless you're peaking, of course. But then, so that's low pass for you. High pass is essentially the exact same thing, except in reverse. So right here, this top area of the envelope above this line is the frequencies that are being let through, but as soon as you move this up, you'll notice that underneath it creates like a triangle, and that triangle represents the frequencies that aren't going to be let through. So here's what it's going to sound like just with the high pass, not with the resonance. nice high airy feel to that that's really good for trance, and it really adds texture to the piece. You throw some resonance on there, and you get the same effect as low pass. I find this makes a really nice filter sweep, but sometimes it can be harsh, so if you don't EQ it right, it can be bad. I'll show you what I mean. So it gets really piercing there. So gonna bail off a little from the tutorial here. We're just gonna do some basic EQing. What you can do is, while you're listening to this, I'm just gonna set a loop just for the part which sounded most harsh. That was that bar right there. And just take a listen to it. There you go, now you just cut off a little bit of that harshness, so when you listen to it, I'll start halfway through. Alright, so another thing you can do is you insert track, virtual instrument track, and I really like to color code things, so because this is going to be what's called white noise, I'm going to make it white, just for simplicity. White noise right there. Go into your instruments, and it's actually underneath synth effects, and lots of VSTs actually have this built in as a preset because it's really easy to do. It's just a toneless sound, but what you do, I'm just going to add in an 8-bar loop, and on every and of the beat, so that's kind of on the end of every kick, I should say. And I'll show you what it sounds like. We're going to throw a low pass on it, right there, with resonance, because with white noise, this is the true meaning of filter sweep. This is how they've been doing it for years with dance music. A white noise filter sweep is just like kind of the standard. So here's how it sounds. That's coming out for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any feedback, leave in the description. Feel free to like. And yeah, have a good day, guys.